Before we move on to the next story, there's something I want you to look at. This time lapse is from Turkey. The wildfire you just saw is raging outside Turkey too. Our countries have been set on fire and our world is burning. We have lost 40% of Arctic ice since 1975. Our world's carbon dioxide concentration is the highest in 2 million years. Between 2011 and 2020, the global temperature was 1.09 degrees Celsius higher than pre-industrial average. Going forward, heat waves, droughts, cyclones and heavy rain will become more common. This is climate change. It is here. And there is not a single corner of the earth that remains untouched by climate change. I'm not saying this, the IPCC is. What is that? It stands for the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, IPCC. It is the UN climate body established in 1988. The idea was to provide world leaders with scientific assessments on climate change, basically help with legislation and decision making. The IPCC regularly publishes reports on climate change. One such report was published today. It was titled Climate Change 2021, The Physical Science Basis. 200 plus people authored this report, 14,000 plus studies were referred to, 42 pages were finally published, and it was approved by 195 countries. What does the report say? Number one, temperatures are likely to rise by more than 1.5 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels over the next 2 decades. Number two, the sea level has risen by 20 centimeters already. 3. Heat waves and heavy rains are affecting more than 90% of the world's regions. 4. Heat waves will become more frequent in Asia. 5. The Indian Ocean has warmed faster than the global average. 6. India will experience more floods, erratic monsoon and intense heat stress. And 7. Climate change is unequivocally caused by human activities, meaning humans are to be blamed for this state of affairs. This is what the IPCC report says. It also adds that the world is set to miss the Paris climate goals, the Paris Agreement goals. We'll not be able to limit global warming below 1.5 degrees or even 2 degrees Celsius. This limit was agreed to by 196 countries. It was during the COP21 in Paris in 2015. 6 years on, here's what the IPCC says. Paris Agreement climate targets could soon be out of reach. We've already dumped enough greenhouse gas into the atmosphere to heat up the planet by 1.5 degrees Celsius. This is being called a landmark report. It has become the day's biggest headline, with some news organizations declaring climate change is happening faster than previously thought. Quick question. Did we not see this coming? Did we not knowingly contribute to it? All of us. We talk about climate change, we write and read about it, but when it comes to doing anything about climate change, we prefer passing the parcel. Climate action becomes a footnote at every global conference, a campaign pitch that is barely given a thought to. In the media, climate change is a page 10 story. It is buried beneath stories of Hollywood divorces and fashion trends. For news channels, climate change is a visual relief. We play dramatic visuals of floods and fire with the hope of getting more eyeballs. Well, guess what? Climate change is more than just a passing mention. It is a harsh reality, one that many still have a hard time believing because the truth is just too bitter and too big, perhaps, to swallow. Here's something else that may be too hard to digest. Climate change is affecting all of us, rich or poor, Asian or European. Allow me to show you what climate change has done to our planet in just the last 30 to 40 days. In the United States of America, heat waves have claimed 116 lives in Oregon and 78 in Washington. As we speak, California is battling the Dixie Fire, the second largest wildfire in the state's history. Nearly 500,000 acres of land has been destroyed. Thousands have had to flee their homes. 106 other large fires are burning across 14 American states. In Canada, temperatures recently touched almost 50 degrees Celsius. At least 233 people died in British Columbia. More than 1 million shellfish were boiled alive in the ocean. There's chaos in Greece. The country is fighting more than 150 wildfires. 1,450 firefighters have been deployed. Thousands have had to flee their homes. More than 1,300 have been evacuated from the island of Evia.
Terrible. I cannot explain to you, like in the horror movie. You see the horror movie, you got afraid and you tell to yourself, okay, this is movie. But now this is not the movie. This is our real life. This is horror that we live for the last 1 week.
This is the bird's eye view of Turkey. Wildfires have swept through forests, homes, vehicles, killing at least 8 people. Fires also continue to threaten parts of Italy, and Venice has been flooded by untimely rains. In Russia, 155 fires are burning. Less than a month ago, Germany was hit by a freak flood. At least 180 people were killed, 150 others are still missing. Floods also hit Belgium, killing at least 20 people. In India, floods and landslides have killed more than 150 people. Several states have been affected. Parts of Australia were hit by what's being called a mini tornado. It is so hot in West Asia that Dubai had to cool the city down using artificial rain. Kazakhstan cannot afford artificial rain. Here, severe drought has killed hundreds of horses.
We have had 2 to 3 years of drought. 3 years.
The IPCC report links freak weather to climate change. These wildfires, floods, tornadoes, drought, landslides, heat waves, they're all man-made disasters. They will become more frequent in the days to come, and soon there'll be no way to hit a reverse button. Right now, we still have a chance. We can still stop the world from heating further. How do we do that? By immediately reducing greenhouse gas emissions. This is a climate emergency, and it is a reality of our generation, the biggest headline of our times. It's time we acknowledge this, made climate change a front-page story, because it's us. We have set the world on fire, and only we can douse it. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.